Leave you laid out on the floor, try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
WCS back at it. You already know Hot Grease Chronicles EP 87 back on deck. Man, you definitely know I have to talk about the Stephen Espinoza. You know, the article that he did recently, the interview. And it just goes to show you exactly what we all know. But first of all, man, I want to give a big shout out to the WCS supporters and big salute to the OG. Retro boxing and documentaries first in the MF building. Shout out Blood on deck, man. What it do, man? I think that's the first time I seen you first on deck. That's what's up, man. I'm about to goddamn go to the store and get you an award, man, and shit. God damn. I got to get you a medal, god damn it. I got to get Blood a medal of honor up in this mother. For real. When Blood the first on deck, something's different now. Shit, something's different, god damn it. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, bro. Pop on deck, man. Salute. What's good? Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. What up? What up, OG? How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime. Shaw on deck. Team Tuck in the building. What's good with you? What's good? So if you don't know, let's get down to it. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the building, you know, hit the like button for me. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Hot Grease Chronicles EP 87 on deck. So apart from what we already know, not to rehash old toilet paper, because most of us is in the chat, we don't reuse toilet papers. Once it's a wipe and you know the shit is where it's at, we throw that motherfucker in the toilet and flush it. And a lot of people felt like the Bud Crawford and Errool Spence negotiations with a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like, you know, we put all that time and effort into it, man, like constipation. We put all that time and effort into it like constipation. We was waiting. Please, anything online? Anything online? Any? No. I mean, it was crazy, y'all. It was absolutely insane last year. So there are certain individuals that continue to speak on this topic and do damage control. And I don't know why, because the fight is not happening anytime soon. So I don't know why the outlets are continuing to ask the same person, because every time you ask him, he's going to go more and more and more and more and more in detail about the same information. And he's going to give you a little bit more different turns and twists to it each time he gives an interview, bro. So Boxing News 24, man, I must cite, and I will correct the spelling errors because they hurry up and put out articles. They don't do spell check, any of that shit. But we already know what it is. It's just like English. You know what I'm saying? You have your broken English, your slang, and everything else, but you still understand it pretty much, right? So Chris Williams, he's been on deck before. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much he wrote an article quoting what Espinoza said to Fight Hub TV. And so we're going to try to go through this, man, and try to, I want to give my breakdown as best as I possibly can on this particular article. I'm going to try to, jog through it a little bit. So first of all, when it starts off, he says Avanesian came to fight, and I think Crawford fans was getting a little bit impatient. All right. Crawford fans, he knows about all Crawford fans was getting impatient. He's coming out the blocks with ex parte narratives. He wants you to believe. He's coming out the block like that. He's basically, proving once again he can be a biased individual. But since he holds a position the way he does as the president, he can come out the box and say, oh, Crawford fans was getting a little impatient. You're usually seeing him break out. Well, Espinoza, I don't know how much you watch YTC, but there's a lot of individuals who said Terence Crawford is a slow starter. But you're on here telling people you're usually seeing him break out. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. That's not true. A lot of people say Crawford is a slow starter. So that didn't make any sense to me. And they're talking about how he knocked out Avanesian. It was like a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere. Well, they can say the same thing for Sean Porter. Did you do an article on there? Did you use the same phrase? Oh, it was like a bolt of lightning when we seen him connect on Sean Porter the first time and get that first knockdown. I didn't hear you, Chris. I didn't hear you, Espinoza, talking that shit you talking. Going on, it says so maybe there's a little bit of ring rust there. Listen, this is a guy who stays in the gym, right? I really can't take this article too serious, and I don't really want to overwhelm myself, even pretending like I'm stressed out over how biased this dude is, right? He says so maybe there's a little bit of ring rust. He had a decent opponent. Terence took his time, and it was a impressive result. Well, it's still an attractive fight. No one is going to hold grudges and say we're not going to deal with him just because the first time didn't go the way we want it. All right? Listen to the words now. He said Crawford Spence is still an attractive fight. They're not going to hold grudges and say we're not going to deal with him just because the first time didn't go the way we want it. So they're talking about the way PBC wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Or they was feeling some type of way because Terence Crawford was asking questions. I'm just curious to know which direction I should point in when he says that shit. Which direction should we go in? He says still an attractive fight. Of course it is. Of course it's an attractive fight. But that's neither here nor there, because when it comes to the people on the YTC, once again, I got to hold them accountable. They say just the opposite of what you're saying, Espinoza. They saying y'all holding grudges. They saying y'all don't want to do business with Crawford no more, all because he came over there with no promoter and he wanted to ask the questions so he can put the checks in the box. That's all. You know how they say it, cross the T's, dot the I's. You know what I'm saying? It goes on to say there's other factors now. Okay, this is going to and give you a different look, a bit of delirium going on right here. There's other factors. Pay attention to this one right here. There's other factors now. The mandatory has been ordered, and there's all of that. There's the assumption, oh, well, you can wave a magic wand and make it all go away to get a Crawford fight. I don't know if that's the case right now. It's not as simple as that. So if you don't know if it's the case, you shouldn't even be speaking on this no more. Because right now we're so fatigued and listen to the same rhetoric It's no way for people to get motivated again and hear about this shit. But you saying you don't think the magic wand can do any justice. That's the magic wand you're talking about. Like a unification for undisputed can bring a lot of magic. But Espinoza is making it seem like the magic wand is not even needed, because we already have mandatories being ordered and everything else. Like, this never happened before in boxing. All of a sudden it makes a big deal, all because it's dealing with Crawford and the way he went in there and handled his business. It goes on to say, I have no doubt that from the side to Errol, from this side to Errol, and everyone else that is throwing that opportunity away. Let me read that over. I have no doubt that from, remember now, this is Boxing News 24. Chris did not proofread this shit. He was just typing enter. Okay, so excuse me, I am reading verbatim. I have no doubt that from this side to Errol and everyone else that is throwing that opportunity away, they're still looking and saying, look, this can realistically be made. Great. But having said that, nobody wants to go through the experience again. Okay. So you said earlier that it was an attractive fight, right? You said it was an attractive fight. That's what you said. It was an attractive fight. But then you say nobody wants to go through that experience again. So the experience is, we're going to wait till I read further in detail, and we're going to get back to this experience, because what experience are you talking about once again? Because if we go back up a little bit, when I initially read it, it said, cause we didn't get what we want. Because we didn't get what we want. So if you don't want to go through the experience again, what did you want and what you didn't get? The people need to know, what exactly are you talking about? Nobody wants to go through that experience again. We don't want to go through it, goddammit. We don't want to go through it. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about this subject, man, it is basically approached with very caution, with as much caution as possible right now, because you're not going to get anywhere with it. Especially with Espinoza keep coming out here doing interviews. Approach or proceed with caution on this topic. It said, I know the versions of what happened. I know that from this side. It felt like the rug being pulled out from under us, very little notice. And so there's a little bit of damage control that can be done. He said, there's a little bit of damage control that can be done there. I don't know what damage control you're talking about, but y'all are considered some of the premier. Y'all are considered the top of the echelon. That's what y'all are considered, the top of the echelon. How can you sit up here and say damage control? How can you allow somebody that's coming there with no promoter to hit you with a surprise? I don't see how that's possible. I really truly don't. You know what I'm saying? See how that's possible. If y'all was on y'all A game, it's no way that y'all should have been taken off guard about anything Crawford had going on. It goes on to say, it doesn't mean we're not going to jump back in negotiation if there's an opportunity to do so. See, once again, he said earlier, it was attractive. It's still an attractive fight. And then he went ahead and said some more things. And then he jumps back in it. You know, he said, we don't want to go through that experience again. And then he jumps up and say, it doesn't mean we're not going to jump back in negotiation if there's an opportunity to do so. He just said, I know there's a lot of versions of what happened. I know that from this side, it felt like the rug being pulled out from under us. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a little bit of damage control that can be done. But you go up here and say, there's got to be a different dynamic. There were certain points where a range of issues that Terence Crawford brought up that really didn't get resolved and lingered out there. And then things all fell apart. So no one wants that dynamic again. So if by chance we're looking at the first half of this year and not getting Crawford Spence. And they're talking about revisiting this around the same timeline that we did last year in 2022. It should be easier now. If you're going to revisit at the end of the year, budget shouldn't be an issue, because it seemed like budget was an issue last year. So budget shouldn't be an issue right now. It says, so in order for this to be a productive thing moving forward, there's got to be a different way going about it rather than sitting there and going an inch at a time over months and months. It wasn't that many months there, Espinoza. It wasn't that many months, to be honest. He said he received the paperwork in August. It wasn't that many months. If you all are looking at throwing the fight in November, supposedly, that was the infamous date. You was throwing in November. But you're talking about as if it's been months upon months, and you went a half a year, and all of a sudden you was blindsided by Crawford. It says, so if this is going to get done, we all know what the issues are and what the basic structure is. Either people are interested or they're not. No one wants to waste any more time. So if he's interested, there's no perfect deal. So let me get this straight. You're saying if Crawford is interested, there's no perfect deal? He wasn't going in there for a perfect deal. If the word was out here saying that Crawford agreed to everything, and agreeing to everything meant no guarantee, why are you saying no perfect deal? How can the deal be perfect to Crawford that he's getting no guarantee, man? He's getting net on the back end. How can that be a perfect deal? This is making no sense. This shit is not making any sense. This is the dude who's providing you a monocular reassurance that he's going to put out there. And he's talking about damage control earlier. This is exactly what he's doing, bro. He's providing a one-way sense of damage control, reassuring those who support Errool Spence and PBC that he somehow rallied them back into their good graces. You know what I'm saying? And make it seem like they didn't have anything wrong to do with this negotiation. They did everything perfect. How can it be a perfect fucking deal? And the man was dang up at 35%, no guarantee. And then you got people up here talking about, oh, so what? So what? He ain't getting no guarantee. Who cares? Everybody don't get a guarantee. What about the net? So that's what he agreed on. He get the net. Whatever. It goes on to say, I don't want to point fingers, but if you ask this side, I think a lot of dragging on his own ask, right? And the timetable he was responding. I heard there was no timetable. I heard there was no deadline paperwork. Time will go by after each offer. Okay? Now pay attention to that. It seemed like a lot of time would go by after each offer. So he's basically projecting that off on Terence Crawford as if he took a lot of time. But listen, we don't know how much time you all took to send the paper back. So we can go back and forth, left, right, and throw combinations all, back and forth about this topic, because we're here hearing a single-sided freaking interview go on right here. This shit is so single-sided, man. It's like a fat kid on a seesaw, man. This shit is so damn one-sided. So it seems like a lot of time will go by after each offer. And there was a stubbornness that dug in after certain points that we thought shouldn't have been insurmountable. So I'm still waiting on when they sent paperwork over there and provided Crawford a timeline. I'm talking about a timestamp that says we need this back by this time right here. I'm not getting this in this article so for this interview. I haven't heard it yet. He goes on to say, I'm sure he has a different take on it. Of course he does. He did a live on it. Of course he does, Espinoza. Man, what are you talking about? He said, but we know what the issues are. There's nothing new. They're all issues that All big facts are based. The thing is, nobody wants to get back and be in this soap opera of weeks and weeks of negotiating. So if we're going to jump back and deal with it, then let's jump back into it and get it done quickly. Not that I'm aware of, but there are sometimes conversations going on that don't go through me. Oh, so you out here speaking in depth about it, but there's certain conversations that bypass your presence, bypass your cocula, bypass your hearing. You're not even privy to some of these conversations, huh? Okay. So you become a third party or fourth party. That's what you're telling me? So it said, when asked if negotiations have resumed between Spence and Crawford. So he's trying to say everything don't go through him, so he wouldn't know. So if you don't know everything, why are you speaking on it like you know what Al Heyman got going on? Why are you speaking on it as if it's a first, like you're the first person, you're the first line of freaking defense? When everything starts to pop off, they go through you. So you out here trying to provide us with a puzzle, and you really don't know what the picture is. You out here trying to cut the damn pieces out as you go along. It said maybe on the PBC side, or maybe with Al or TGB, there could be conversations there. You know what? I can stop this live right here and say, you know what? There it is. Because you're not privy to all the information, but yet you're doing interviews like you can go in depth and talk about it as if you are privy to all the information. You're not privy to all the information. I can pretty much seal this and stop it right here, because he's pretty much saying maybe on PBC side or maybe with Alex going on. We don't have to address the first point that much, because there's been a lot of promoters and fighters that come out and say it's not unusual to fight without a guarantee. It's absolutely not, said Espinoza about Crawford's unhappiness about not receiving a guaranteed purse for Spence fight. We passed that. I'm not even talking about the guarantee. In fact, pay-per-view guarantees didn't come into existence until 3 years ago. So the reality is, for the longest time and for the bulk of pay-per-view business, there were very few guarantees. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. So now for Crawford to come in and say that I'm the first one in history not to get one, that's just factually incorrect. Okay? That's just factually incorrect. I can give off the top of my head, here it goes, 20 different fights. Off the top of his head, he can give 20 different fights. There has been Tank Davis fights where he didn't get a guarantee. All right. And let's not factor in when Tank actually started doing pay-per-views. There have been Mayweather fights where he didn't get a guarantee. Okay. So look, that's perspective and just flat out wrong. So you said 20 and you only provided 2. It's 18 missing, shawty. It's 18 missing. We need more criterion information so we can do a live and educate ourselves. You're missing 18, brother. You gave 2 black fighters, and they have to be 2 big names right now. Hey, 2 fighters who've been attached to each other. Mayweather, Tank Davis. Come on, where's the other 18 at, bro? Do we have to go on an Easter egg hunt to find this shit out? Where's the other 18, bro? You said 20. It goes on to say the transparency is absolutely baffling. He got that in black and white. I've seen the contract. It's there in black and white. The reality is we would have to account. We collect the money. We do the accounting. You can't do the accounting without being transparent. Oh, sure you can. Sure you can do the accounting without being transparent. Sure you can. You're factually incorrect, Espinoza. Sure you can do the accounting without being transparent, especially for a fighter that's not even signed to you. Of course. Come on, man. This is boxing, brother. It depends on what transparency means. To most people, transparency means I know what the revenues are. I know what the expenses are. I know what the deductions are. It's all out in the open. There has never been an issue on this fight or any other fight that we've been involved in if transparency means something else. Here's where it gets complicated. If you're saying I get the right to approve expenses, first of all, I have a problem with that, because what's going to have when I tell you what's going to happen, I guess he was trying to say, what's going to happen when I tell you this is what TV production costs, and you say, no, I think it would be cheaper. So wait a minute, now I can't produce. Now what Espinoza just did is take you far out on the limb. I'm talking about one that's already splintered. You see the shit waving in the wind already. But he took you out on a branch that's already splintered. And you know it's incapable of holding the weight. Especially an extreme example like he just made. How is he going to sit up here and talk about production? A boxer is not sitting up here talking about production. You're taking him out on a limb with extreme. I mean, a supererogatory example, bro. And when people do this, people, you know what I'm saying? When they do that to us, they're trying to act like we're not educated enough of anything else. They want to go all the way high first. Who's going to touch production cost? You think Crawford's going to go over here and speak about production costs, brother? Man, come on, stop it. Stop it, man. Come on. You exacerbating when you don't have to, man. It goes on to say, we've been doing this quite a while. I know what it costs. If it costs pretty much the same as other big pay-per-views, there's an industry standard. We're not going to go in promotion. We have the risk of someone saying to us 2 weeks out, no, I don't like that contract. I'm not signing. Or go into saying, we're waiting for a fighter's signature, and I don't know what we're going to get around to reviewing this expense and approving it. It's just not a realistic way to do business. Man, it's a lot of gibberish, you know, when you have somebody in front of you for this long period of time, especially if you have segues that's going to record your every word. So it's almost like some of this shit is just fillers. You know what I'm saying? And he's just losing his direction just a little bit, diving too deep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he forgot the oxygen tank on the damn shore, but it seems like he's going around and about. It says you got to have a certain level of trust. There are certain protections for disclosures up front. I'm not going to read that. I don't think that's important to us, because he's just giving us, you know, details that a lot of people care to know about. Don't nobody want to care about the disclosures and all that unless you're going to produce documentation to us to review. If you're going to produce documentations out here to the public, then cool. But it's not relevant to me right now. So it's great to say, okay, mutual hypotheticals there, Stephen. Everything is going to be negative hypotheticals when it comes to Crawford. As you know, they don't have nothing negative to say about themselves. And on that side of the fence, it's nothing negative to say, bro. It's what are the repercussions there? And how is it resolved? If your position is, no, it has to be mutual approval, and I have the ability to blow it up at any point until fight night, you're not going to get a lot of people taking that deal, because you're up with something like Mayweather Pacquiao, but worse. In that case, the ticket demand was so high that it didn't really matter. And something, I mean, that's not even relevant, bro. He said you can't be in this where someone is going to have the ultimate leverage. It's got to be, hey, if the two promoters don't agree, the network breaks the tie. Or there's got to be some way of resolving it. But saying everything, unless the fighters approve every last penny, everything grinds to a screeching halt. That's not a realistic way to make a deal. That's not a realistic way to do boxing promotion. So I never believed that business, when it came down to boxing, is realistic. I mean, Espinoza, were you saying this when Teofimo Lopez took his shit the purse bid and he was up there negotiating? Was it unrealistic to assume that he didn't have enough experience in the ring to be negotiating and pushing up his purse and standing his ground? Was that unrealistic? Like, the man went the purse bid. The man went the purse bid, bro. First of all, they thought the Lomachenko fight wasn't going to happen because Teofimo Lopez stood his ground and didn't budge until he got the money that he wanted. Then he went in there with the Kambosos fight, and it went to a purse bid and surely ended up winning. He didn't get a chance to enjoy that purse bid money, but it's just the fact of his actions, his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? How confident he was to stand that ground. What's the difference with Crawford? I mean, Crawford's heading into one of the big fights, just like Teofimo and Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko is three-weight champion and was on the pound-for-pound list. And this man didn't even have nowhere close to the experience or the championships that Vasyl Lomachenko did, but yet he held his ground. He stood firm. He goes on to say, I think there's got to be some way to change the dynamic and change the pace of things. It's a tough one. Something has to change. I agree. When asked if he believes they can get the Spence versus Crawford fight done this year. We can't just repeat the same dynamic as before. Spence was done with this deal. Now gets into mentioning Spence name finally. And, you know, Spence was done with this deal, and PBC weren't that far apart from having the terms resolved. So it's eminently doable. It's not something we chase out in 2 or 3 hours. That requires some trust and give and take. And that's been a little bit difficult to get in this situation. At this point, Errol has been very clear. He doesn't want anything other than big fights. He doesn't take tune-ups, not even after the car accidents, not even after time off. Well, look, WCS would have been happy if you said, you know what? Errol has been very clear. The only fight I want is Terence Crawford next. But he didn't say that. I would have enjoyed, and it would have brought a little bit of smirk to my face, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, there you go. Now we get the confirmation we're looking for. Errol's been perfectly clear. He doesn't want any other fight besides Terence Bud Crawford. It would have been nice if that was in the language of this article, but it isn't. It somehow is tardy. He said he doesn't take tune-ups, blah, blah. We already heard that shit, man. Danny Garcia was a tune-up, period. Y'all best friends, goddammit. That was a tune-up. It goes on to say, I think Jaron Ennis, okay, that's not relevant to this, but I'll read it anyway. I think Jaron Ennis is getting to the point where Spence was. Spence was avoided and delayed getting his title shot. I don't think Jaron is at that point yet, but the clock is ticking. Okay, so the talk about the Errol was delayed from getting this, that, and the other. Let's stay on topic. You pretty much heard minimal information on Errool Spence. So that tells you right there that Al Heyman is doing all the negotiation, and pretty much Espinoza is out here doing cleanup, damage control, you know what I'm saying, search and rescue, sanitation, you know what I'm saying, pollution recovery, hazmat team effort. That's what Espinoza is out here doing. It's so much for him to talk about. The jumpstart 2023. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much to talk about. Where is the fight date for Spence, though? You come up here and you're doing all these interviews, these in-depth interviews. You want to take people on an underwater adventure like we watching Avatar or something. Where is the fight date, goddammit? Where is the promo? Can y'all just put a flyer up? Can y'all just put a flyer up? Just put a flyer. That's what you should be talking about. Y'all want to talk about Avanesian. How much clout has y'all given Avanesian? Y'all want to talk about in one sentence that, hey, Avanesian wasn't anything. But then Espinoza says early in the article, it seems like Crawford has some ring rust. He usually come out the gate blazing, which is factually incorrect. So if Avanesian wasn't that big of a deal, if Avanesian wasn't that big of a deal, why are they giving him props and giving him clout for fighting a pretty decent fight against Crawford, who they trying to say that had ring rust, and he wasn't up to the Crawford that we used to at 35 years of age? You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, a bolt of lightning came, like we haven't seen Crawford stop and put the hammer down on his opponents. I'm gonna be honest with you, people. I have no problem speaking about new information, but as far as going back and speaking about the old, antiquated, stale, banal information that's out there about, oh, Bud Crawford, he stood up. Who gives a fuck what you talking about, man? Who gives a fuck? The man already been paid. The man just came back from Thailand. He over there taking frames with tigers and shit. He's on the beach, motherfucking shadow boxing. He's damn enjoying life. And y'all miserable content creators are still over here talking about something that happened last year and still angry that Crawford didn't sit on his hands and be a good old boy like you wanted him to, and usher in the year absolutely with no money. He would have been out the ring a whole year. Plus, if we're talking about right here in 2023, would that have been better for y'all to make the fight? Because in my opinion, it would have been perfect if y'all would have did enough to make the fight. Because let me go back up here. There's a part in here that I skipped. I want you to hear this. It says something to the point where, let me try to find it right quick. Let me try to find this right quick, man. Hold up. He said there are certain protections for disclosures up front, right? But the reality is to be able to approve everything along the way, one is ever going to do that, because the reality is there's no way people are going to go into it and start spending the budget money and go into a promotion, and then 2 weeks out somebody gets a bug up their about an expense. We know that's not the way it works. You think as long as he's been in the sport, he's just gonna be that petty? Let me take you. It's one thing that I wanna. Where is it? Okay, this is. Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this shit right here. He said there's an old saying: a good deal is a deal where everyone is unhappy. Oh my God. Is Canelo experiencing this old saying? Like, how can Canelo be considered the cash cow if a good deal is considered unhappy? Canelo deals are not unhappy. Shit, Canelo's up here buying stallions. Do you see the outfits he's walking in? I'm like, God damn, that shit look comfortable as hell. Just send me one set, brother. Just send me one set. He said there's an old saying, a good deal is a deal where everyone is unhappy. Instead of trying to get the perfect deal, let's get the best deal we can under the circumstances. Dude, I can't make this up. So not getting a guarantee and taking that on the back end, taking that from, I mean, that's not being unhappy. So when you believe Crawford being unhappy was the fact that he was ensuring that he make a deal, at least that he can get something that bring a smile to his face, he was already compromising. God damn it. So when somebody's trying to compromise, they're unfucking happy. You're not compromising because you're happy, like everything's fitting into place. You're compromising because you're unhappy. You're not satisfied. So what is this good deal? A good deal is a deal where everyone is unhappy. How does that work? How in the hell is a good deal is where everybody's unhappy? Are we still dealing with humans, or are we dealing with the chip? Are we dealing with people who may have the chip in them? Are we dealing with the clones? Who are we dealing with now? Are we still dealing with the natural human beings that are functioning off their own psyche? Are we talking about chipped and programmed individuals? I don't get where this dude is coming from, bro. I don't get this shit at all. A good deal is a deal where everyone is unhappy. Well, shit. The entire time, it seemed like the Spencerholics was the ones that was unhappy. And the deal wasn't even made. So maybe they should focus more on getting with PBC to make the deal happen next time, rather than worry about what Bud is doing in trying to make the deal. I think this whole process where the YTC content creators is miserable as hell and deeply depressed is that they were spending more time outside of focusing on their favorite fighter. They were spending it on Terence Crawford. That's what they wanted to focus on. They wanted to dial that shit in, get close enough so they can act like they know every freaking word and place all the liability on him. We still have individuals that's speaking that slave talk, that still want to refer to him as top ranked Toby. Just ignorance. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's inherited ignorance. Why should I continue to act like I support it? Like when I say support it, make sure I'm paying close attention to every freaking word and respond to it with vigor. I'm not doing that. But it's inherited ignorance, man. The people that still referring to this man as top ranked Toby. I can't sit here and incorporate and enable them with their ignorance. I can't enable dumb people to be intelligent. There's still people out here that believe that they're contributing to the sport of boxing in the YTC, and they're going to grow off demeaning a black fighter and using slave terminology to consider him to be a top-ranked slave, or he was in a slave contract, or he's a top-ranked Toby. It's the purest ignorance that you would ever experience if you're talking about boxing conversations, boxing topics, content creation. This is one of the most ignorant, uninformed segues that you will visit when you want to hear people talk about and demean fighters. Now, I've said some things about Spence, but most of what I say is not personal. It's pretty much public record. I go on, I hold myself accountable. I've said some things, but it's all public record shit. I don't dig into all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't dig into that. My feelings aren't hurt on what they're saying about another man that's capable of defending themselves. And a lot of these guys, if they was in person and saw Crawford, right there in front of them, and Crawford didn't say too much, he was just standing there, they would probably walk up to him and introduce themselves, and they'll have a smile on their faces. And then they'll just try to work and see if the temperature's right to the point where they say, hey, champ, Hey, Champ's good to see you, Champ. Hey, is there any way I can get a picture? And then that's when Crawford walks the fuck off like he do. Crawford's good at walking away from something, man, and act like he don't know English. Me know English. No say. I know who you are. Crawford will leave your ass standing there, bro. You think he's not listening? He ain't paying attention to the ignorant enablers out here? Yes, he is, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's paying attention. And they want him to pay attention, but yet they get no attention. They want him to pay attention, but they get no attention, bro. They get no attention. They just want Crawford to freaking respond to one of their tweets. It's not going to bring the fight together. The ensemble of this content creator cast has been distasteful, you know what I'm saying, for the last several months. Very distasteful. It hasn't even been conducive to anything dealing with boxing, really. It just allowed people to do live streams and talk about the same two individuals, but more so Crawford. And, you know, they talk about how people is not doing something. Like, they'll be quick to say, well, so-and-so ain't doing what he's supposed to. They supposed to be treating their career with respect. They supposed to be taking it serious. They supposed to be doing this. They ain't saying nothing about that with Errol. Errol's the one out here to have the issue. If news broke tomorrow that Errol didn't wake up in the morning and he passed away, these same individuals who've been spewing that ignorance and that hate, you know what I'm saying, those black extremists, they'll be here trying to act like they shedding tears and shit. Oh my God, my idol. Oh, I'm just so hurt. And then they'll go back to show all the videos and everything. But yet, you was dogging out another black man. They'd be able to talk about, oh, I know his kids are going to miss him and this, that, and that. But what about now while people are living? Why can't you be genuine? And why can't you reserve that respect right now? Because y'all busy talking about what Crawford isn't doing and everything. Y'all really bring up a lot of non-factual narratives. And y'all want people to believe this shit all the fucking time. But it has nothing to do with making the fight. It has nothing to do with making the fight, and y'all keep on talking about it. All because his name is popular, it's trending, and y'all want to continue to get the viewership. A lot of y'all cats on here don't even think about the future. You spend 5 years. Okay, when Crawford leave the sport, who's next? You gonna still be talking about Crawford? When he's in the Hall of Fame, what you gonna say? Oh man, let me do a live on why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. You can't stop it. You can't stop it, bro. Neither one of y'all content creators, the black extremists that's up here, the alphabet boys, or whatever you want to do, whatever group you're associated with, y'all can't stop the progress. Y'all cannot hinder the motion, bro. He's going to the Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not, with or without Errool Spence. That's the salt tablet y'all have to continue to damn swallow each and every time you bring his name up. You can't stop his progress. You ain't going to be in the ring fighting against him. You're definitely not going to be in the ring in the corner of Errool Spence. You're not going to be there, bro. Whoever he fights next, if it's Jaron Ennis, if it's Virgil Ortiz or whatever, you're not going to be at the fight. Most of y'all ain't going to be at the fight. You're so cheap. You'd rather sit up here. Oh, no, well, no, I don't want to do that, man. But the tickets are like $25, man, you know, all the way up in the rafters. Nah, that's too much, man. A lot of you are not going to be at the fights, covering the fights. You're just going to be here talking about it. And all the shit you're saying from afar is not going to stop the results. It's not going to stop the results. All this shit y'all been talking and cussing and yelling and screaming, convincing people that you're miserable, more miserable than the next man, you're not going to stop, or you're not going to produce any other results to get this fight done any quicker. Nothing. Y'all are useless, man. All you good for is convincing WCS. If you hear me speak on it, it's creating another thumbnail if it bothers me. It doesn't. It doesn't bother me at all, bro. I'm not on here making hot grease thumbnails every single day. I'm not up here creating bum ass narratives, speaking bad on Bud's name and make it so bad, right? Y'all are the same ones that used to be fans of Bud Crawford. That's what I can't understand. He used to be your absolute favorite. Look, a lot of y'all was fans of Bud Crawford. You didn't change over to Errool Spence on your own. You changed over because you are what they call a sheep. Sheep does what sheep does. Y'all got together, start forming these bonds and cliques, and started with the bromance and everything. And y'all wanted to say, oh, well, we're going to support the PBC side of the house. So all of us have to have the PBC mentality. And this is how it's going to go down. We're going to talk about this topic, and we're going to support these fighters. If they ain't PBC, then oh well. This shit is incredible, bro. We're talking about grown-ass freaking adults, man. Grown-ass adults that's thinking they're going to get on here and say they had a play. They had some type of influence in making any fight happen. You didn't have shit to do with anything. None of y'all niggas. None of y'all. You didn't make Crawford versus Amnesia. None of y'all did. But what's hilarious is that y'all trying to go at the one person that's trying to make moves. He's struggling. He's struggling, but he's trying to make moves, man. His ego so big, it's weighing him down. He don't even have the damn switch to say, you know what, I'm out. He can't even turn the switch off and say, I'm out. Now y'all using him as a target. And it's hilarious, man. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hilarious seeing this shit play out. Myself, you, any one of y'all are helping any fight to be made. Now, give it up to Bill for allowing Shakur and Devin to come on a platform and hash out any trash talking. But that didn't make a fight. They just was able to centrally locate themselves on channels live, and it was good. It's cool. It would be good if that happened often. But shout out to Bill for basically, using the admin logistics and the liaison to get Shakur Stevenson on there with Devin, and so they can talk out anything that they want to talk about that sparring and anything else. You know what I'm saying? That was good shit. But all the other stuff dealing with Crawford and Spence, man, we tired of hearing it. Espinoza, he needs to stay away from any more interviews dealing with this topic. Because truth be told, we exhausted from hearing about it. We exhausted, bro. We exhausted. We ain't trying to go through this again. Shout out to IB on deck. Juice Lee on deck. Big blunts and boxing in the building. So I'm going to get to some of these. Like I can't get to all of them, but I'm just going to go through some of them. He said, Lil Steven is a spokesperson for 5950. I don't believe a word he says. Man, you're right. He says what he says, and he's extremely one-sided. He barely mentioned anything that's on his side. It would have been good for him to elaborate on some of the information that we wanted to hear from the PBC side, since that's the promoter, that's the network, and Crawford is an independent contractor who didn't come over there with a promoter. So you're up here with extended arms, finger pointing, Crawford. He can't do this, he can't do that. How do we know anything about what was going on? Y'all, you trying to act like y'all was squeaky clean. Y'all came in that bitch with a white glove. Y'all could do no wrong. No, that's not the case, Steven. Man, stop it. Stop it, bro. That's not the case, man. All the fighters Steven named are PBC fighters. Bud is not signed to PBC. So why they try to make a deal with Bud like they do their fighters? Man, talk that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Talk that shit, bro. That's all I'm saying. Talk your shit, man. He said he knew 20 fighters. And the 2 fighters he mentioned was just like Donald just said, that PBC fighters, goddammit. Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis. Do you copy? Whiskey, Charlie Sierra. Do you copy? Asking whereabouts of search and rescue, over. Do you copy? Where's the search and rescue, man? Of the other 18 names? Where are they, goddammit? All the PVC is trying to do is explain where EJ is fighting Keith. They wanted Keith versus Errol the entire time. Talk that. Shh. Talk that. That's what they wanted the whole time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. You know what I'm saying? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They wanted that fight because it's an in-house fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a business, but when business is at the forefront of ruining your best fight, the best fight, then you want to act like, oh, let's sit up here and place all the damn culpability on Bud. No, boxing is a business. So remember Stephen Espinoza, what he said. A good deal is when everybody's unhappy. Remember that now. Remember that now. When you're sipping on a cold one, Espinoza said a good deal is when everybody's unhappy now. It seemed like everybody was unhappy in this deal, right? But it wasn't a good deal. Now, Spencer Holics, I have to address you on one point, right? You need to clean your act up and stay on code, as my boy Dion said. The reason why I'm asking you to stay on code, because before this negotiation even happened, y'all used to talk about how Bud was moving. That's y'all favorite terminology. You always want to talk about how Bud was moving, right? So one of the points that y'all try to make is that he wasn't a good businessman. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't like how he moving. He ain't did no pay-per-view. He ain't did nothing. He ain't did no numbers. He ain't did this. He don't want to do interviews. He ain't did nothing. You always used to talk about how this dude don't do anything. Don't do it. But yet, he comes over there as an independent contractor, absent of a promoter, and he's asking questions. He's showing you that he understands what needs to be done. He's coming over there independently to attempt to make the fight happen. And y'all get mad because he's not fitting the suit that y'all used to make him wear tomorrow. I don't like how he moving. I don't like how he doing business. But yet he's over here asking the question, and you say, oh, shit. Oh, he want transparency? Fuck that. He don't deserve shit. Just take what he give you. Be humble. Take less money. Learn how to be the challenger. Shut up. That's the talk I was as a black man. That shit right there, it'll take all us back. Sometimes when I don't have shit to do, right, I just have that little moment in life and I just want to think, damn, what if I was able to be back there with some of you? Boy, it would be incredible. It would be incredible. It would be some tattletelling, big mouth, snitching ass motherfuckers, boy. They serving grits today. I gotta go tell on somebody. I want some of them. They got the butter square in it. They put the butter square. Oh my God, I heard them back there. They're killing that pig. They got that fresh pork out there, huh? Oh man, I'm snitching on somebody. Yeah, Scotty. There you go. I'm telling on Scotty. He ain't picking enough over there. He don't have his load. He's taking his time. He's doing too much. His old ass, it shouldn't even be out here. They need to go ahead and set the dogs out on his ass. I'm tired of Scotty. Where did Scotty come from? Anybody know any information on him? God damn, I'm about to get me some grits with that butter square in it and some goddamn one sausage patty. I'm snitching on his ass today, man. I'm tired of him. It's just something I don't like about him. They must be snitching on your ass, boy. I want them grits with one butter square. God damn it. Hey, you know you're not going to get the grits and the good food unless you tell me what's going on out there in the field. You hear? You got it. Man, be some snitching motherfuckers on here, boy. I'd be say, who would let a free agent come to the network and dictate anything unreasonable? Tell Bud put his money up for the venue and everything else. Yeah, I heard either you or somebody mention, and look, that's preposterous that you would even bring it up. The absurdity, the level of absurdity that you have brought that for a boxer to put their own money up. Who does that? Because it's extremely asinine not to believe that the promoter and Erroll Spence, Al Heyman, with the network, they consider the A side. So what negotiation have you known that the B side comes in there and put their money up to make a fight happen? Come on, man. That doesn't even seem logical, nor does it seem intelligent for you to just waste the oxygen that God bless you with to mention some BS like that. Not even close, bro. Espinoza didn't debunk anything. What he did was plant new false narratives out here. All he did was cultivate them. He was out there with a motherfucking water jug watering them bitches. He wanted to grow. Continue to grow until we figure this out. He was out there watering the motherfucker. He wanted that shit to grow out of control like weeds. Blunt said Espinoza know he can't address one contract situation without the other. He don't want to be the blame for two major contracts not going through. Well, you know, when this whole process was going through in negotiation, where was Espinoza? The only time we really heard of Espinoza is when he wants to show up somewhere and somebody asks him about negotiation. What he really should have mentioned as to why he was on the phone in a leak audio with Erroll Spence. Why was that him? Isn't there plenty of other people that work over there that could have been in that phone conversation? Why you, brother? Why you? Why did y'all leak that information? What benefit did it do for Erroll Spence? For you to be on a conversation with him when he's like, I don't want to fight. I hate him. Up there, acting afflicted and shit, throwing little temper tantrums and shit. I hate him, man. I don't even want to talk to him. How can you be so mad just because you didn't get what you wanted? Like Crawford ain't getting what he wanted. You're mad because you're not getting what you want right then and there. You're mad with Keith Thurman for you want to keep on holding the grudge. I don't want to fight that dude. I don't like that dude. I told him I don't even want to fight him. I'm like, what are you in the sport for? What are you basing your performance grade off of when it all boils down to whether you're an ATG or not? Maybe IB can answer that. What is the criteria and the formula that we're gonna give for Errol Spence being an ATG? How are we gonna formulate that? We need some answers, because if y'all gonna advocate for him, he's not an ATG right now. In order for him to be an ATG, he needs a big fight. It needs to be for a championship. If Undisputed was his declaration, why has he failed to complete the manifesto, brother? IB? If you're gonna be over here capping on, he's capping and capping. Come on, bro. Come on, IB. You better than this, bro. You better than this, bro. It's 23, man. You bringing all that residue over from 22 over here, bro. I thought you were sanitizing and quarantined from that. but it seemed like you done broke back out. The infection is real. Man, you need to go get your booster shot. You need to get your booster shot, IB. Stop it, bro. Juice say, IB, bad business. Bud brought 50 million to the table, and the PBC Showtime folded, bro. It ain't rocket surgery. I wasn't even gonna get on the hedge fund, but you're right. He did present 25 and 25, which through my calculator, my mental calculator, it provides us with about 50 mil, which Al Heyman say, what? He didn't want to touch it. He didn't want nobody else to touch it. But then they try to run with the narrative that Al didn't know who they were, which he did. He was fully aware who they were, and he didn't want to do business. So to continue to say Bud got up and walked away from the negotiations, and he had a lackadaisical effort. He sabotaged to go over there to be okay. It's frivolous. It's frivolous. Real talk. Nobody's trying to hear that bullshit you're talking. It's frivolous, man. Y'all keep running down the same dead end street. Like, don't y'all understand this is your life you're doing? Like, to get on here and talk about the same shit month after month after month after month after month. Don't you know without any growth, you're just wasting your life? You're going to put 10 good years into talking about, no, let me back it up, five years, because I think Bud is going to be here till he's around 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be here around about 40 years old, right? So let's just say a good 5 more years. You're gonna invest 5 more years into YouTube with just being a group of individuals with no solid purpose on how to grow your channels. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you believe that continue to talk about the same topic over and over again is growth just because you're receiving some revenue that excites you? You feel obliged to come up here and reciprocate the same thing over and over again. And what is your point of reference? Like, as far as goals, expectations, how do you plan on getting to a point where TBV is at? That goes for all y'all. How do y'all expect to grow by talking about the same thing over and over again? Y'all old ass men in your 40s. You're in your 40s. You're in your 40s. Talking about a guy who has way more money than you would ever make. I think that hasn't set in with y'all yet. You're busy up here criticizing a man that has made way more money than you would ever gross in your life. But yet, he is forcing you from a distance to continue to work without even having you on his payroll. Now, that is a genius. That is absolutely genius. This man is influencing and forcing y'all to work without even having y'all on his payroll. He's not writing checks for y'all, talking about him every day. You all choose to do it for free. No matter how many super chats, that super chats is a percentage taken by YouTube and it's a percentage taken by freaking Uncle Sam. They help. Don't get it twisted. I know they help y'all, but guarantee 5 years from here, talking about Bud Crawford, y'all gonna find yourself on medication off the strength of you put so much vested effort in talking about the same dude. The same dude, man. I'm not doing it tonight. Blunt say, smooth damage control. LOL Oscar exposed Showtime for being slow on the contract and then send Steven out to make it look like that's not the case. Let's talk about what you just said. You know what I'm saying? Let me just throw a picture out here. You know, just because Blunt's mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? That's Oscar, you know, telling people, showing people, you know, just making a scene, wanting to bring some type of climactic moment to the contract being sent. Man, come on, bro. They didn't jump up because you said something. Oscar, come on, stop the cap, dog. Look, me seeing that picture right there is just like you having no shirt on and convincing people that you do abs, you do setups and crunches every day. No, you was punctual on your doctor's appointment and he hooked you up. That's it, bro. Come on. Stop acting like they hurry up and sent you that paperwork. Man, you've been had that. Showtime said, I just got off a conference call. Another one of my peoples just got a major contract offer. Just wait on it. Okay, for sure, man. I have to chop it up with you on that. I already said top champion is going to get paid regardless, but it got to be realistic. Payday. Maybe you missed it. I know I missed a lot of stuff in my old age. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure Juice have too. But listen, this gonna get paid regardless. What do you mean? It doesn't fit with me because you can go to a job and you're gonna get paid regardless. But if you believe that you rate more than what you're getting paid hourly or yearly, annually, I mean, shouldn't you sit up here and negotiate for it? What is this talk? Where are we at in life tomorrow? You're going to get paid regardless. So we just go in there and fight and then say, okay, what I'm looking at? Oh, we got $10 here. What the rest of it? Man, we got promotional expenses. We got popcorn. They wanted the caramel popcorn along with the butter popcorn. You know what I'm saying? And then we had to have the pork, the beef, hot dogs. They just wanted something a little bit more help. The plant-based hot dogs, they had to have the keto up here. They had to, bring up a lot more food, man. They want the essential water, Fiji water rather, all that shit. That's where all your money went. Come on, man. We need to know where the numbers are at. If top champions get paid, they should get paid what they worth, bro. Salim said Erroll Spence fans are clones. For real. Man, they clone each other, bro. They clone each other. They hang around and talk to each other on these private chats, man, with the camera on. They be cloning each other, bro. They be doing some weird stuff behind on these private chats, those aerosexuals, bro. I'm serious, man. Those aerosexuals, they're different type of species. I can't call them human no more because they all be regurgitating the same shit. I'm serious, man. It's almost like they all line up together and somebody come out with a spoon. They dip it in the toilet. Open. Oh, there you go. Down the pipe. Swallow. Good. No, you can't have nothing to drink. It's part of the initiation process. When you join this aerosexual clan, this cult, you have to abide by the rules and policies. Who's next? Oh, there you go. Nice and wide. Oh, there you go. That has some corn in it. You taste it? You did? Okay. I'm serious. That's how that shit goes with the aerosexuals, bro. You say then nothing else matters. Why offer a non-guaranteed purse if you think the fighter does numbers? Bro, that makes no sense. You offer non-guarantees when you are unsure of what it would produce. Obviously, this fight will produce numbers. This fight will produce numbers. But those numbers wasn't able to be accommodated by PBC, man. I hear nothing but good words over there at PBC. I hear nothing but good words. Al do this, that, and the other. Al is legit. People that ran into him, all that, right? From the people who's supporting them heavy. But then it's almost like we have to sit here and talk about which is better, dry gravel or wet gravel? Dry gravel or wet gravel? See, if y'all don't know what the difference between dry gravel and wet gravel, y'all can't go in negotiations. It's some shit like that, man. What's better, dry gravel, wet gravel? Come on, man, stop it. SB90 on deck. What's good with it? Salim on deck. He said, I really would have rocked with you if Errol didn't give all his opponents guarantees, and all of them don't set topic. Ugas deserve no guarantee. Ooh, that blade sharp. I agree with you, Salim. That's some real factual, true words spoken right there. We would definitely have a different conversation if any one of those previous opponents were in the position as Crawford. If you forced them to work as hard as y'all was getting Crawford to do. Like, come on, man. These guys are getting paid well. I don't think they was unhappy. Dennis Ugas didn't look unhappy. Mikey Garcia didn't look unhappy. Sean Porter didn't look unhappy, goddammit. He said a good deal is when everybody's unhappy. I no, I didn't. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they was unhappy. That's bullshit, bro. I don't think they was unhappy. Real talk. Truth be told. Bodie on deck. Salute to that. I see you. But that's a solid point. That's a solid point. That's a solid point, man. IB said I was hypothetically speaking because Bud obviously has nobody to foot the bill, asking for all that cheese like he's the only one getting paid. I think you're just speaking from a point where you're just trying to antagonize the situation. We're past antagonism. You know what I'm saying? Now we're looking for the comfort zone. We want the results that's productive to making this fight. All that is just your opinion. I mean, come on, bro. You better than that, IB. It's just your opinion. You acting like a fighter doesn't supposed to go in there and negotiate. If y'all gonna say he shouldn't be with Top Rank, and then he comes over there without Top Rank, but yet you act like you have no idea he's without a promoter. So the questions that he's asking, that he needs answers to, y'all act like he doesn't rate to get the answers to the questions. If he's without a certain portion of his team, called a promoter to do that for him. Now he's out here solo dolo. Now he has to ask the questions. Him and his legal team. He has to ask the questions. Y'all acting like the man's supposed to be sitting there, left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee, back straight, head and eye straight to the front, and mouth is shut. That's not the way it works. It's called a negotiation. Lisa Bell's in here. Damn, Lisa, shout out to you. I ain't see you in the building. If you're on deck, salute to you for pulling up in the chat on the WCS Boulevard. Shout out to Lisa Bell. I think it's her first time over here, but shout out to you. Shit, I think I gotta refer to Lisa as an OG in the game, man. She be on I don't know how many panels talking that boxing. Shit, in the wee hours, goddammit. Shout out to you, man. For real. A boy got to ask his dad to do business. I don't know why Bud is the exception to the rule when it comes to negotiation. Like I mentioned T.O. how he stood firm on two separate occasions, back and one for the Kambosos fight, and no one utters a word on what he think he was worth or any of that. I don't hear that same talk. Oh, you think he's supposed to get? This man was getting paid 1.2 and he negotiated the 2 million. So you trying to tell me he negotiated 800K and y'all not kicking and screaming and putting him in the same argument? That's crazy, man. These fighters have to negotiate for themselves. It's funny. It's funny. And this is not just to you, the IB. This is just to all the individuals that speak on Crawford so harshly, right? Why use the saying a closed mouth don't get fed? If a closed mouth don't get fed, then goddamn somebody should tell Crawford to come in there with an interpreter. They should put something in his throat. They should give him a freaking iPad so he can type the shit out. They was up there saying a closed mouth don't get fed. But for Crawford, close your mouth. We ain't trying to feed you. All right? We ain't trying to feed you. Close your mouth. Why we keep saying a closed mouth don't get fed? Isn't that what the saying is? A closed mouth don't get fed? I'm telling you, blunts, them aerosexuals, they got them links already, bro. They got them links already programmed. For real. LAB on deck. What's good with it? Yeah, Lisa's an OG, man. You gotta call her OG in the game, man. How many panels she done been on? Shit, she gotta be underlined as a boxing OG on this mug, But I'm thinking the same thing too. Much heat on the PBC right now. The fight shouldn't even be a Mando at 154. Keith can easily be paid to move around. See, I went the whole live and didn't even mention that because it's pointless. They won't even speak about why he's fighting at a higher weight. It's pointless, bro. This shit is extremely pointless. And then keep him in the rankings of 147. It serves no purpose because Fat Errol needs a fat camp. He can't even make 147. It was things going on with him last year that he couldn't make weight. We all knew it wasn't no shirt offs for him and all that. What they want to talk about, he was in camp and all that. No, man. Dude is looking plump, like he's been eating well. He enjoyed the holidays and everything else. Now they fighting at 154. That's unprofessional, man. Last time I checked, Keith Thurman was a welterweight. When has Sean Porter fought at 54 recently? When he came into the sport, Sean Porter was fighting close to super middleweight, man. When have you seen him all of a sudden fight at super welterweight? This is a guy who fought at a heavier division, damn near 2 divisions up when he came into as a professional. Look it up. But we're about to get 2 names that's considered the best matchup in boxing. And one half of that, who's a unified champion, is fighting a fight that doesn't make sense. You're not even defending your titles. No titles on the line. And you're going to go up here and fight at 154. No titles on the line. And look, all the damn conspiracy theorists are coming up here and saying, you know what? He ain't gonna draw back down. He gonna vacate. Who gives a fuck? At this point, who gives a fuck he drop back down and vacate? I mean, whether he comes back. They talking about the man gonna vacate. Who cares? At this point, I don't care. I don't care. This dude is fighting a pointless fight at this point in his career. It's pointless, man. Or allegedly, he's supposed to fight. Keith Thurman, allegedly, he's supposed to fight at 154 for a non-title fight. It's pointless, man. This makes no sense. If you're going to move up, move up. Why go up there and fight and then have 60 days to figure out what you're going to do? Man, this is just unprofessional. It just proves what we've been saying about Spence. And I'm not feeling no type of way about it. It's fucked up. Juice Lee, appreciate the $5 super chat, my brother. One love to you for supporting the channel. He say, facts WCS, nobody said a peep when Sean went from mandated WBO split to 4 million. Shit. Sean Porter showed up to that fight. I don't give a damn what Kenny Porter was talking about. Kenny Porter, when did you feel that Sean Porter wasn't himself in training? I would ask, so Mr. Porter, so Kenny, if you found out in training that he wasn't himself and he just didn't seem dialed in, why did you take the fight? Would you take a fight if you was getting paid over 4 million? Yes, I will, Kenny. That's all you had to say in the beginning. Thank you. Larry, back to you. I'm serious, man. Am I right around Juice? Like, goddamn, they should have just asked us, so why y'all took the fight? If Sean Porter was giving you all those vibes that he didn't want the fight and he was in retirement, why show up to the ring? Because the commentary was giving you mad love. That's what Espinoza tried to allude to. They was trying to say, well, a lot of people say Crawford is a slow starter. Well, Sean Porter's a perfect example. They was praising the shit out of him for the way he was boxing Crawford. They were. They was praising him. People was like, oh, please, please, please. Come on, I got money on it. Got money on it. Please, please, please. Come on, Sean. You can do it. You can knock him out. Please, please. And then somebody fucked around and jumped ranks. Somebody fucked around and jumped ranks. Somebody jumped ranks. They told Crawford, you down. And Crawford's eyes looked like, how? How am I down? Before I go out here and slaughter this motherfucker, somebody explain to me. I just want to hear what you got to say. I just want somebody to explain and break it down to me. How can I be down on the scorecards? And I feel like I've been doing anything and everything I need to do to be ahead on the scorecards. I don't believe you, but I'm going to take it serious. I'm about to go out here and destroy this dude. Okay? I appreciate you jumping ranks and telling me that I'm behind on the scorecards. Cool. And he went out there and crushed Sean. Over. No matter whatever results y'all come up with, whatever you want to say, it's done. It's over. But hey, man, y'all been great. Appreciate Juice, man. For the $5 super chat. Everybody else that showed up and talked that talk, man. Hey, y'all was dropping some gems up here, man. But I gotta bounce, man. Continue to support the channel. We'll again another day. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.